Hey everyone, welcome back. So, at the beginning of this video, let me just say this. This is kind of like a quick wrap up of what we've done so far, specifically in terms of submissions and course roadmap, things like that. If you have already received my email earlier this morning, then you should be all set and you're good to go. That means you can probably skip this video, right? That means you've done everything correctly. But if you have not received email and you feel like you need a little bit more guidance or you're kind of lost what to do in the end of the semester, then this video is definitely for you. So with all that being said, let me share my screen so we can walk through what's going on. So this is the course repository, and make sure that you are on the branch 2025 fall. And then you can click in the documentation and find a capstone page. Click on that. It will be able to guide you to this file here. And once again, make sure you are in the correct branch because a couple of students reach out, send me a link, have questions, and they're like on the main branch. I think that's where the confusion happens. So make sure you're on the right branch and you are in this directory, and then you can check out project 3. So I said it here that project 3 is optional. It's two reasons, right? One is some of you already saw your code, I already saw your repository. You guys are doing fairly well. You understood everything, right? In that case, there isn't really any point to do project 3 because you understood everything, right? Based on some of the code that some students submitted, it's very, very clear to me that you understood everything. There's really no point to do project 3 for those students, especially those I sent an email earlier today, right? You guys are getting in that case, you understood everything. There's really no point for you to do this. This is specifically for the students who need a little bit more help, right? Um, Altogether, there are two projects that we already discussed. So let me go to the top. The first project is credibility score, right? The setup is you were in a chat bar, you are talking to some AI agent or assistant, AI agent assistant, do some search, give you some query back, give you some context back. You need to understand how valid these contexts are, right? And that's where the credibility score comes in. It takes a URL, takes a content, and then give you like a 4 out of 5 star, right? Something like that. So that's project 1. If you've done it, project 2 should be fairly easy. Project 2, we start with TinyTube, but we immediately expand the concept of TinyTube, which is a terminal level simulation, to perhaps a Streamlit application, right? Where you can build this agent that simulates certain behavior that you can talk to within the chatbot environment. And in this case, maybe it does linear regression for you, it does random forest for you, does whatever for you, right? It takes on a certain persona. The persona can literally be anything, right? Data science is, technically speaking, a persona, right? So that already pretty much cover a wide range of different level of projects that you can do for project 2. Some of you did project 2 deliverable 1, some of you did deliverable 1, deliverable 2, some of you did all of them, right? If you did all of them, chances are, you got my email and then, you're getting A for this class and you're good to go. Um, but if you feel like, hey, I have no idea what project 2 is talking about, then you can kind of take project 3 as an opportunity to continue to, you know, um, just make sure to check every spot that you may or may not have missed. Me personally, I don't really know what you missed unless you make a submission, right? So obviously, I can only provide feedback if you submit your deliverables, right? So obviously, if you want my feedback, obviously you have to submit something so that I can comment over something, right? Some of your students ask me for feedback, but then without a submission. So, in that case, obviously, I won't be able to give you feedback, right? Um, so yeah, just let me know what kind of project you want to do. If you want to do another project, I've gotten emails from some students saying that they have no idea what chatbot is talking about. They have no idea how to use a chatbot, right? Um, that should not really be your answer, right? At this point, you should have heard ChatGPT at least once, right? Some students email me saying they've never heard of ChatGPT. That's not really a good answer, right? You don't have to use ChatGPT, but you can't go around telling people that you've never heard of ChatGPT, right? So that's not really a good answer. And you don't have to build chatbot, right? Chatbot is just one level of example of the agentic AI framework. The agentic AI framework it's very easily understandable if you put that in the chatbot environment, right? You talk to someone, someone does something for you, you have a visual understanding of what the agentic AI is, right? Now, that being said, do you have to do chatbot? No, the answer is no. You can do agentic AI without using chatbot, right? So I think that's where the disconnect is. I think there's a one-to-one, 100% map of chatbot means agentic AI. That doesn't really comes down to a one-to-one, 100%, right? There's certainly overlap, and based on the day and age today, there's a good amount of overlap, but it doesn't mean one-to-one, 100%, right? So I think that's where the disconnect is. And overall, end of the day, this is still a data science project, right? So I think it's important to kind of make the connection of, okay, we've learned about linear regression, logistic regression, random forest. We've learned about all those algorithms, right? And these are great algorithms in data science. It can help you do certain things if you're given certain data. I still think it's important to make that connection. Now, that being said, here's another thing that I've come across. Some students just submit like a Python notebook with like 5 lines of random forest code. Um, I don't know if you wrote out yourself, even though you wrote out yourself, that's not really a good way to showcase data science, right? A good way to showcase data science is not only you're able to think about it, but you're also able to interact with the system, and the system is able to do all these things for you, right? End of the day, it's a matter of getting the job done, right? End of the day, it's a matter of delivering that model, right? If you're gonna use ChatGPT, just use ChatGPT well, right? Don't use ChatGPT once and come up with like a 5 lines of random forest code and use that as a submission. That doesn't really work that way. Um, so the so I think I think there's an interesting framework here that perhaps you know can be shared with the class is um some students are really scared of using ChatGPT and then they just don't use it at all. And then they spend 5 hours Googling a bunch of stuff and end of the day, they're submitting like 5 to 10 lines of code. Whereas if you just ask ChatGPT, it can probably just write that for you. And then it's exhausting for yourself, and you're probably getting very tired, and you're not learning that much, right? And then there's another example of, hey, I'm just using ChatGPT once. Give me the code, and hopefully I can get it done in one prompt or one session of conversation, and I just copy that on some sort of a Colab notebook, and then submit that. I would say in terms of today's day and age, neither of this framework will serve you well. The reason is because you're not using ChatGPT in the right direction, right? The right direction of using ChatGPT is to, you know, uh, don't just use it as a tool for homework submission, but rather to use it as a tool to enhance your own knowledge, right? If you have certain assumption about data set that you want to use, share those assumptions with chatbot. A chatbot is probably going to give you some default answer on the spot, and then you can then iterate on that to hopefully showcase that you understood that this work or this doesn't, right? That's why in these submissions, we typically have more than one rounds of deliverables, right? Like typically I have 3 rounds of deliverables, and the reason is precisely designed for that purpose. So I think that's one thing that I want to really bring on the table. I think not a whole lot of students still understood this is not just a one-shot learning. This is really kind of like a marathon, right? You really have to lean towards using AI the right way, and then use AI to enhance your own learning abilities, right? Even if you learn a little bit less, that's still okay. But I think you really have to lean towards using AI to learn about your own capabilities. Put things down in simple numbers, just so people understand and everybody's on the same page. If you write everything yourself, you're probably going to submit one Python script, spending 5 hours, 10 hours, right, to figure that out. Or you're gonna maybe copy some um, Colab notebook somewhere from the internet, and then you're gonna put together like one Python notebook, and probably that takes a couple of hours, right? Or the other end spectrum is you can probably interact with the LLM and have LLM kind of do the implementation for you, whereas the core idea and the design of the system still come from yourself. If you're able to do that, that actually showcase that you understood what's going on. And then there are students that go into extreme detail of how to really build together a package. We've talked about all that in previous classes, right? We mentioned Docker container, we mentioned requirements file, we mentioned Python scripts, utility scripts, right? We mentioned front end, back end, we mentioned all these things. And if you able to interact with a large language model really well, the large language model is able to carry out these a coding task for you. But the main guideline and the main philosophy of how this project is put together, that still belongs to human idea, right? Because there are a million ways to put the project together, and if you don't have that uh, core orchestration in your head, then the chatbot is gonna go nuts, right? Like chatbot's gonna do whatever they do, go on tangent, hallucinate, and so on and so forth, right? So I just really want to mention that. I don't know how many people is on the same page with that. So far, I've only seen probably like a handful of students able to do that. So I think this is probably not 100% perceived correctly by the class. So just want to really mention that. At the end of the day, it's about spending less time and doing more, right? That's always the goal, right? End of the day, it's not about spending 10 hours writing one Python script. You should be spending maybe 1 hour, and then you have like whole repository of like 10, 20 different scripts, right? It should be really feel like that and look like that. So yeah, that's what I want to say. And then before I finish, let me just summarize everything, right? If you got my email, you're good to go. Skip this. If you have not gotten my email, please send an email to me. Just really make sure we're on the same page. Because what if I missed out on your submission, right? Because I'm looking at the past few submissions, like the recent 5 submissions, like 8, 9, 10. I think someone submitted 11, right? I'm looking at these submissions. If you have not submitted any of these, then obviously I probably miss out your email. Now, that said, it could be possible that you submitted in 6 or 5 or session 4 about the same repository that maybe you are keep improving it, but for some reason you didn't submit like 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So maybe that's how I missed it. That's totally possible, right? I want to give you the benefit of doubt, right? Prove me that I'm the one in the wrong. I missed it, right? And then yeah, send me an email if you feel like that's the case. I'm happy to review it and happy to give you feedback. But if you have not submitted 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, then probably I miss it. And then obviously, if that's the case, you probably miss out on project 2. If that's the case, there's still going to be a final project that you can pull it off, do something that you like, right? And then just really show me that you're able to do this, put together a project that you like, really go into detail, go into depth of something that you care. And then if you can just show me that, then I think you have a good standing in the class. Thank you for watching this video. Hope everyone have a good Thanksgiving. Um, Again, any questions, please email me back, and then I'll do my best to respond. Thank you for watching. And with all that said, have a happy holiday. And I will look forward to see all of the submissions from you guys in December.